Yo, you can hear me, right? I'll be with you soon. I'm not sad. Honestly, I can't wait. It's all I think about lately. I mean, we'll be together again. We'll get to discuss movies, food again. Everyone around here has bad taste. They don't understand things the way we do. It's a shitty world filled with shitty people. Oh, that reminds me. There are movie theaters and restaurants over there, right? As soon as I get there, let's go grab some peanut butter hamburgers and yogurt smoothies. I'm so excited.
He's talking about dying to Lucky. Zach has a stage 4 brain tumor.
Please. You're
Oh, there's the fairy.
rush me. You just need to wait a bit longer. I still have one job left to do. I need to finish it. I have to. Or else I'd never be able to face you. Just give me a little more time, okay?
So, Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson, confessed to murdering Lise. But then immediately afterwards, she went insane. So you had no choice but to detain her. What a terribly convenient story. You were the first person to find the suspect hiding at a farm on the edge of town. And you even got her to confess to the crime, right then and there. Did anyone else get a chance to hear Galena's confession?
Only us.
How did you even find that shack in the first place?
Metaphysical offender profiling.
Meta what? Should I know this word?
Metaphysical offender profiling. The term appears 6 times in the Le Carré report and 14 times in the 2010 Greenvale report. As long as you're solving cases, the people in charge don't really care what sort of words you use. But we're different. You utilized a highly abnormal method to instantly hone in on a suspect. Then you did it again and again. And every time you used it, one term kept appearing in your files. Metaphysical offender profiling. Mr. Morgan, would you mind explaining to us what this term means?
We could try. But no matter what words we used, you'd never be able to understand. You see, it doesn't pertain to this side. Come, my fairy. Stop hiding back there and give them the explanation they so desire. What? You too shy?
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan!
Come on out. Don't be afraid. You can do it.
Is that all you have to say? Don't underestimate me, Morgan. I know you and the Clarkson share a deeper connection. Much deeper than how it appears on the surface. I need to shake him with something else that's directly connected to the Clarksons. I'm gonna jog his memory by force. Stack of old letters. These must be the letters that he mentioned in the report. That dragonfly mark proves it. Someone stole Lisa's body and it's been missing for the past 14 years. I find it hard to believe that it was simply hidden in that cold storage warehouse the entire time. Why wasn't a more detailed investigation carried out? Reading over it again, I can't help but notice how well organized this report is. One might even call it perfect. Except some parts have been redacted in an extremely suspicious way. Why are all these places blotted out? Those letters look very old. The postmark suggests they were sent out from Louisiana. And I suspect that dragonfly mark belongs to the Clarkson family.
Maybe. So what if it does?
A stalker has been harassing Patricia Clarkson for several years now. Did you know about this? Constant silent phone calls, unmarked letters. She also spotted a suspicious figure lurking near her mansion several times. And just last week, her employees spotted a strange figure lurking in the vicinity. The day someone else coincidentally used your alias and traveled to Louisiana.
That's very intriguing. Aligned symbolism.
Lise Clarkson also reported being harassed by a stalker just before she was murdered. You're aware of this, correct? Because I didn't find any mention of this in your report.
No direct connection to the case. That's what we must have thought.
The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Which are you?
That's enough for now. This all has nothing to do with the case. Besides, there's no evidence that proves those letters are from her.
So, Lucky, this is what happens when you use too much of that suntan lotion and let your beard grow out. Get stinky.
Isn't that right, my fairy?
Mr. Morgan, I noticed that several parts of this report have been redacted. For example, here, one individual's name has been erased from the key figure list. Would you mind telling me why?
Someone in charge must have thought it was unimportant. Or maybe even inappropriate.
Why would they think that?
How should we know? We've never understood what those people do.
Well, I took the liberty of trying to restore what was taken out. Normal ink was used to blot it out, so I was able to recover part of it. Here's what it says. Sapling salesman.
Forrest Cason's name was redacted, huh?
All the other redacted parts seem to be connected to this person. But I can't think of a single reason why this individual would need to be removed from the report. Why is he so untouchable?
Oh, him. He's nothing. We were barking up the wrong tree.
Meaning?
Can't include someone who doesn't exist in an official report, now can we?
Doesn't exist? You mean he had nothing to do with the case?
Yeah, you could say that.
Interesting.
Mr. Morgan, according to you, at the beginning of this case, the victim's body was being stored in the warehouse on purpose. Is that the truth? They really put her body there alongside food and other perishables?
It's in the report.
No. The report only says it was stored using the most effective and shockingly inhuman method possible.
If you can think of a better phrase, we're all ears.
The report isn't wrong, you know. In fact, that might actually be the most accurate way of describing it. It's precise, and it's also kinda poetic, you know?
Wow, Simon. We never would have taken you for a poet.
Right?
You two think this is a joke? Lise Clarkson's body was discovered in that cold storage warehouse after 14 long years. If you'd only done a proper investigation, we probably would have found her much sooner. Poor girl.
We still regret the fact that we never got to meet her. We're sorry, from the bottoms of our hearts.
I only hope it didn't happen that way by design.
Will you comfort me? Thank you, my fairy.
I knew it wouldn't go that easily. Maybe I should try asking my questions in a different way. I could use Agent Jones here. Films teach us all we need to know? That's ridiculous. I'd rather read a book than watch a stupid movie. That's the window that faces the street out front. I can tell just from the layout of his furniture. Now I'm surrounded by everything I couldn't see out there.
No.
Agent Jones is completely checked out, despite the fact that we're heading deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole here.
I already told you why I was interested in chess.
It's bugging you, isn't it, Aaliyah?
Huh?
I get it. It's bugging me too. It's even got my heart racing a little. I mean, look at this. Nothing but DVDs.
Okay, so we actually have a better look at some of the movies here. We did not get this good of a look earlier. So let's see. The bottom left, I see. I don't know what the top one is. And I see Twin Murder, Old Billy, 35 something, Richard Hotel, Saturday, Matt something, Saturday, May 13th, something a.m., or maybe a year, then Final Impact, 48 days. Then the second column up high, I see that he has a complete series of police dogs. Bon Voyage something. I don't know what that top thing is. It looks like it might be an anime. Let's see. Ninja Police? Rental Car? Delta Death Charm? Delta Charm? Something like that. Galaxy Gal? Looks like it's upside down Blu-ray. Emerald Dragon 2 and Emerald Dragon 1. Aqua Time 2, Circus Show. Lola X, Low Sky. The Evil Mountain 4. Looks like a bunch of like multi-box movies. Deep Sea, Kung Fu High. That's all I can really get out of it.
Not a single Blu-ray in sight, just pure, unadulterated DVD.
Bullshit. There's definitely at least one Blu-ray. I see it. It's right under the backwards facing ones in the second column.
He's got VHS tapes too. I don't even have a VHS player in my house anymore. Whoa. Look at this.
Hey, he's got Spaceballs on VHS.
Check it out. This one's got a lot of pizza in it, remember?
It does. It does have a lot of pizza.
You're not wrong, Simon. There's a very large quantity of pizza in that film. 1987, directed by Mel Brooks. The version on that tape is the one we recorded back when you could catch it on cable TV.
Seriously? Damn, Morgan, that's incredible. You're really living the dream, man.
I hope you both haven't forgotten that this conversation is also being recorded.
All that we know about the chessboards, Loki, is he was playing with somebody, assuming his fairy? Because York isn't here. He's in Greenville. Or there might be somebody else in this apartment. We don't know yet.
This is a nice building. Layout isn't bad either. Whew. Must be rather expensive to rent a place like this in Boston. How many other rooms are there in this apartment? That room over there, your bedroom?
Why so curious, Belle? It almost sounds as if you're seeing this place for the first time. Aside from the hardware shop on the first floor, every apartment in this building has the exact same layout. We're well aware that you studied the layout of this apartment before you came to see us. There's no need to act so roundabout. Just be honest. Say it. I want to see your bedroom.
Well then,
Doesn't mean we'll let you see it, though.
This is the same layout as the apartment of David Young in D4, if you remember. The game with the cat girl. The girl who is literally a cat.
Agent Jones. Are you paying attention, or do you intend to waste Mr. Morgan's precious time?
No. Sorry. I'm just a little tired. I'm listening.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Didn't they teach you any manners at Quantico?
Oh, right. Guess they slipped my mind. My bad. I'm actually kinda nervous. I'm not used to this sort of thing. Data analysis is my specialty, you know. I'm sure I'd be able to calm down a bit if I had some pizza, though.
Exactly like that.
The FBI needs to do something about their lack of personnel. I'll have to ask the questions myself, but how should I start? Maybe I should look back over the files and calmly reassess the situation. An elegant antique lighting fixture. But most of his other furniture is of the same quality. Why is his room such a mess then? This is why instead of calling him a dangerous person, they've labeled him a high-functioning sociopath.
Okay, only 2 things to look at this time.
So far, everything checks out with the report. But there were always some parts of the report that didn't make sense. He expects me to believe he just happened to solve a case this difficult while he was on vacation? And metaphysical offender profiling? I won't let him distract me with his fancy made-up words.
Alright, let's ask about this first.
Just the usual around here. No need to worry.
The usual?
Yes. A strange person lives upstairs. Every now and then, he makes noise.
What's strange about him?
Several years ago, a woman was murdered upstairs. Her husband still lives there.
Yikes.
He's ex-BPD. And apparently, he's still searching for the killer.
Yeah, that's a direct D4 reference.
But it seems like they cut all support for the investigation due to decreased funding.
That's meta commentary on the game.
The team on the case wanted to keep working on it, but the suits wouldn't hear of it. A tale as old as time. Due to his situation, perhaps. He's been making a lot more noise recently, like you just heard.
You never noticed anything, Agent Jones.
Well, I did hear some loud noises every now and then, but I didn't think they were real noises coming from upstairs. I mean, look at him. It's not like he's reacting to the noise. He always just went about his business as usual for all the years I've watched him. So I just figured it was coming from the TV.
You really amaze me sometimes.
Wonder what David Young's up to.
After you arrested Galena Clarkson, you had a run-in with the Clarksons. At least that's what it says in the report. What exactly happened there?
Just a simple run-in, that's all. Nothing but a single phenomenon. Chasing hollow instances like that won't lead you closer to the truth. Truth doesn't work like that.
A hollow phenomenon, which resulted in a mountain of corpses.
Oh, Belle. We think we finally understand what you're trying to say, but don't be so voracious. How about another cup of coffee? We've still got a long way to go, you know. Yes. It's coarsely ground, so there should only be 4 teaspoons per cup. No more, no less. Next, the coffee travels from the funnel to the siphon. Simon, normally you only do surveillance in order to gather data, correct? Hiding microphones and cameras, sifting through garbage, wiretapping, shadowing, tracing credit card histories. You'll do whatever it takes to gather data in order to prevent crimes. That's how the FBI works.
Well, yeah, you're right. No reason in hiding it now, I guess. Why do you ask?
Our Southern Belle has adopted a very peculiar MO. It's almost like she has a special power, just like us. You've been watching us this entire time, haven't you, Belle? From that window.
I don't need to answer that question.
You came here on New Year's Eve, then spent 49 hours watching us until you returned to your hotel room last night. You observed us the entire time without sleep or rest, and you only ate once. Some pizza delivered by Simon. Aside from that, you never drank any water or relieved yourself. You simply sat there and continued to watch us. You have visions, too, don't you? You came here solely to hear us talk, didn't you? But then, why bother watching us for over 2 days beforehand? You didn't come to talk with us. You came because you wanted to see this apartment with your own eyes, and because you're already convinced of something. Isn't that right? He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
But
Oh, coffee. Thank you, my fairy. If you hadn't been paying attention, this coffee would have all gone to waste. The pus in our brains. It really has a way of interfering with our lives. Didn't remember. She came along.
What the Christ? This is friggin' delicious. I thought I was gonna shit myself for a second there. Come on, Aaliyah, take a sip. Trust me. I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't believe it. It's better than any coffee I've ever tasted.
Of course it is. Coffee is a sacred drink. Coffee saved us. If not for its oracle, we would be on the other side right now. So I never forget to pay my respects to coffee, especially at critical moments like this.
Yeah.
Big black cumulonimbus clouds are in the sky, and that sound. Thunder snow is coming.
Oh, we got more stuff to look at.
It's almost like a manifestation of the atmosphere in this room right now. Does Agent Jones need pizza in order to calm down? Why does he hate being out in the field so much? He knows we need to be on our absolute guard against this guy. Why can't he just pull it together? If he actually had a hand in this, it would explain why Lisa's body was left frozen for all that time. The body wasn't stolen. It wasn't that he couldn't find it. He just left it there. It's definitely a possibility.
Come on, don't glare at me like that, Aaliyah. I told you, I'm out of my element here, remember?
This isn't the time or the place.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just really nervous. I mean, Morgan's a legend. And now he's right in front of us, and things are all tense. I'm sure it'd give any normal agent a stomachache.
Incidentally, Simon, why did you decide to stop working out in the field?
Don't ask. It's a long story.
I don't mind. We have lots of time, don't we? I could even make you another cup of coffee, if you like.
Fine then. I'll try to make it brief. See, I used to work out in the field. I even had my own partner. But we had a little rivalry that sort of ruined our relationship. It was over a woman, of course. You know how it goes. We fell in love with the same girl. At the same workplace, too. Then one day, the three of us went to go do a stakeout at a restaurant over in East Boston. I pretended to be a customer while my partner waited in the car. He waited in the building across the way. Well, it only took a few minutes for my partner and I to lose our heads. Started engaging in this dumb contest to see who could impress her more. Things were looking bad, and I knew I was gonna lose. Then, something happened. Right in front of me, a customer starts choking on something. Her face was pale, froth at the mouth, the whole 9 yards. I got up at once, but my partner stopped me. He didn't want us to blow our cover, so what did I do? I ignored him. Helped the guy anyway. I couldn't stand by and watch that. I couldn't help myself. Next thing I knew, I was a hero. The guy survived, the restaurant thanked me, and I'd even managed to win the heart of you-know-who. It felt pretty good, you know? One-upping my partner right in front of his very eyes. But that was the beginning of the end. A few days later, she and I went to go get some bubble tea at a cafe in Brookline. And a man comes up to me and said,
I'm here to thank you on behalf of the person you saved in that restaurant.
feeling a bit cocky, I said, all in a day's work, my good man, and tried to brush him away. But he held out an envelope to me and said,
My client broke 3 ribs thanks to the unnecessary Heimlich maneuver you administered to him. He wants you to ensure that he'll be able to get the proper treatment.
I thought I'd saved someone, but all I ended up doing is wasting a lot of my precious time wrapped up in an astronomically stupid court case. It also blew our cover, so our target found out about us. In the end, I was taken out of the field and banished to a meaningless job that anyone with half a brain could do.
It's pretty fucked up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Anyway, well, that's what happened. Of course, I also lost the love of my life and went back to being a lonesome loser. And that's why I hate being out in the field. Oh, come on. I tell you all that and you're not even gonna say anything?
That was long, Simon.
Hey, I warned you. I told you it'd be long. Oh.
Looks like Agent Jones is actually mad about something for once. But he got what he deserved. I mean, showing off during an investigation. Competing with another FBI agent.
What do you mean, Tilly?
I'm surprised he was only transferred.
Oh.
Agent Jones, I'm sorry for not responding to your story. It was just so bizarre. I wasn't sure what to say.
Sorry that the greatest trauma of my life ended up being too bizarre for you.
Well, what do you expect? All you ever talk about is pizza or hitting on women. Honestly, it offended me. I felt like I was listening to a teenage boy tell some misogynistic conquest story.
Whoa, whoa, Aaliyah, hold on a minute here. Despite how I may seem to you, I am actually pretty popular with the ladies. And you know that coworker of mine? She's the one who came on to me. Besides, I only told that story because a certain someone asked me to. It's what happens when you're a popular guy.
Is this all some big joke to you? I'm really losing my patience here.
You simply have yet to awaken to my masculine charm. Maybe you should try getting some more experience under your belt.
Agent Jones, are you trying to get me to sue you for sexual harassment?
He's digging his own grave. Isn't he, my fairy?
Aw, come on, Morgan, not you too. I'm sure a guy like you can tell why women might find me attractive.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just mean, you know, imagine it for a minute. A woman who you wouldn't necessarily call beautiful, yet still possesses some unique charm.
So look, Simon kind of looks like you.
You see women every now and then who you wouldn't mind spending a night or two with.
Should get those
right?
glasses.
And I'm the male version of that. Come on, you know what I mean. Some women just prefer a man who's a little below the norm. And they're usually with a different guy each time you see them. From straight-laced businessmen to gold chains and fake tans. They prefer buffet style, you know? Anyway, my point is, we've all got this special kind of sex appeal.
No, this is being recorded, right?
I couldn't even keep track of all the sexist remarks you made just now.
Yeah, it's mostly from the front.
Hey,
You'd look like
just cool it for a sec, would you? We're having a guy conversation here. This is all just strategy I'm using to try and loosen Morgan up. Trust.
Oops. Alright, next thing to look at is this.
Why would an agent as skilled as you close the Lise Clarkson case without locating her body?
Good question. Maybe we just weren't as skilled as you think back then. Isn't that right, my fairy?
You reported the body as being stolen. Was that truly the case?
Meaning?
Meaning there's a possibility that the body wasn't stolen, but purposefully moved instead. Maybe someone ordered someone else to get rid of the body, or even store it in a specific place.
But who? And for what purpose?
In order to use the body for something else. You never considered that? Perhaps there's some connection between the frozen body and the fact that Sang Rouge is still being produced.
Hey, Aaliyah, how about explaining yourself clearly so that even I can follow along?
Someone extracted the ingredients to Sang Rouge from Lise Clarkson's body. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it, Belle?
So that they could go on producing the inimitable drug without Professor R.
What?
Drug addiction destroys people, physically and mentally. It makes them capable of doing anything just so they can get their hands on a fix. Abusing a corpse? That's nothing to an addict. And with your dependency, I suspect you might know just what that's like.
Maybe we do. If you threaten to take this away from us, I might have to kill you both right here and steal all your $100 bills. Oh, spine-tingling, scary stuff, isn't it, my fairy?
He's talking about his weed, but she's talking about the red powder.
you
At least as
got
far
a
as I know.
Twisted sense of humor there, Morgan.
Do you hear that thunder? It's probably gonna snow soon.
We're in Massachusetts. That's the norm for this time of year.
Well, I'm not used to the cold. If possible, I'd like to finish this up before we get stuck in a snowstorm. Agent Jones, after we're done here, Agent Jones, is something the matter? Snap out of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Do you? Then stop daydreaming.
Okay.
You just what?
My stomach's been letting some thunder loose, too.
Thunder?
That coffee was just so good,
It what? We don't have all day here.
The coffee was just so good, it, summoned forth a massive tsunami from within me.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you? Now is really not the time for this.
Right door at the end of the hallway.
Thanks, pal. Hold on. You can make it. You can do this. It's not very far.
promise you, we did not put laxatives in the coffee. Coffee is a sacred drink, remember?
Motherfucker. There's no doubt that the report omitted information linking Morgan to the Clarksons. I need to get him to confess. Oh yeah. That reminds me, there's a secret weapon in Agent Jones's briefcase. He's chain smoking it non-stop. He's clearly dependent on it, which means he might be dependent on other drugs as well.
It's the gateway drug.
Mr. Morgan, I heard that you were always a smoker. Did you ever wonder if that was the reason you contracted your illness?
What does that have to do with this case?
Nothing. I'm just personally curious about it.
Sometimes, people die in car accidents, regardless of how well they take care of their health. Other times, they slip on their bathroom floors and crack open their heads. Isn't that right, my fairy?
I'm not concerned with statistics. I'm just curious about you, right here, right now.
We switched over from nicotine to this. It's less addictive. That's one step in the right direction, isn't it?
Perhaps. If we're talking about withdrawal symptoms or physical dependencies. But it still seems like you're smoking too much at once. Honestly, it looks to me like you have a mental dependency.
Maybe. But so what if we do?
Surely you know about gateway drugs, yes? When a person starts to use one drug, it becomes much easier for them to branch out and try other drugs as well. The first drug acts as the gateway that leads them to stronger substances.
Oh. Are you trying to say that's going to happen to us?
No. I'm simply saying there's a possibility. Agent Jones probably won't be back for a while, actually. Now might be my opportunity to make some real progress. Have you ever seen this before? And please, don't say no.
Sang Rouge, the drug we once chased. What about it?
Sang Rouge is still circulating. It's changed shape and its composition is slightly different now. But it's still very much alive. But only in a very limited part of Louisiana. You aren't surprised? Did you somehow know this would happen?
Copies of another drug being circulated isn't exactly a rare case.
But Sang Rouge is special. The inimitable Enigma powder. The origin. It has many names, and no one was ever able to copy it. We've also been trying to figure out what it's made from ever since it appeared. But it's impossible to analyze. After all, it appears to be made from common ingredients that can be found anywhere. But if you try to use those ingredients, all you'll end up with is a mundane hallucinogen like DMT. If you're lucky. No. Sang Rouge requires a special recipe. The original recipe, which someone's been guarding this entire time.
Well, you gotta grow a tree in your stomach or your uterus, one of those two.
Someone who survived the incident in Le Carré.
You grind the seeds up.
He read these over and over again, like a prisoner rereading letters from his loved ones. But the last letter was delivered years ago, according to this postmark. That must be the last time he communicated with whoever was sending these. Yet, he left them out in plain sight. All this time. Immediately after they found Lisa's body, I went to go see Patricia. In order to interrogate her, of course.
So you told us.
But I was unable to meet with her.
She refused to speak with you, didn't she? That's so like her.
No, she didn't get the chance to. You see, she's gone missing.
What?
To put it more accurately, no one's seen her since the afternoon of the 28th. According to her employees, she shut herself up in her room for several months before she disappeared. But since that sort of thing happened often, they didn't think anything of it. On the morning of New Year's Eve, they noticed her window was open, and when they went up to check on her, she was gone. But no one knows how long her window had been open for. This is just my hypothesis, but on December 28th, a strange man visited Le Carré and was spotted near her mansion. That man must have found some way to lure Patricia into his car, the '89 Cadillac that he bought used. Then, the two of them drove north to Trenton, where they boarded a train to Boston. They would have arrived here around midnight on the 29th, or perhaps early morning on the 30th. I believe this man is the same Billy Bishop whose name was previously recorded by the airline. So, what do you think of my guess? I'd love to hear your opinion as a former FBI special agent.
Ah, we get it. We aren't persons of interest. We're the suspects. But what about our alibi?
What alibi?
I've had enough of your bullshit. You expect me to believe you haven't taken a single step out of this room? That Agent Jones is your witness? Surveillance cameras can easily be tampered with, especially by someone like you, who knows all about how the FBI works.
You're possessed by death. Go and take a look at your own face in the mirror. You look like the Grim Reaper. After you visited both Le Carré and Greenvale, you left a mountain of corpses in your wake. You can make all the excuses you want. I'm immune to them. Right here, right now, I want to know everything. You tell me the truth.
Yes! You're good, Belle. Damn good. You're brimming with potential. Don't you think she's the perfect partner for our last dance? What do you say, my fairy? Don't you agree? She's good. So good. What do you want to know? We've got nothing to hide. Go on. Question us. This is how it's got to be. Doesn't this remind you of something? You know what I mean, my fairy.
Yeah, a little weird. And now we'll be back in Louisiana. Yep. Right when that was really picking up.
Son of a... How did this happen in my town?
Oh, shit.
God damn it!
The head and limbs were severed and lined up, according to the lines that were drawn with her blood. Just like migratory birds flying systematically across the sky. Hey, Zach, what do you think this means?
They're severed roots.
Severed roots?
Patty shouldn't be here.
This is the way the Clarksons kill someone when they want to cut him off from the family.
And how do you know about this?
Everyone in town knows about it. They're just too scared to talk.
What does the V stand for, then?
Beats me. What, you think I know everything now?
Vilitatio. It means quarrel in Latin. That's what the V stands for.
Latin. Intriguing, isn't it, Zach? There are no defense wounds on the corpse. In other words, Galena showed no signs of resistance when she was amputated. But, strangely enough, there are small traces of subcutaneous bleeding around the wounded areas. That's a vital reaction, which means she couldn't have been dead.
You mean...
Yes, that's right, Patty. Galena was amputated while she was still alive, and she never resisted.
Is that even possible?
It certainly isn't impossible. For example, if she was put to sleep with a drug, or if she desired the amputation herself.
Why would she ever desire that?
Mr. York, I'm sorry, but there ain't no way that could have happened.
How can you be sure of that, Melvin? Our world contains phenomena that could never be explained with logic. This is especially true for phenomena in which humans are involved. Do you really think all the facets of love and hate can be explained with logic?
Well, no, I don't reckon I do. Yeah, might be too early to rule out those possibilities, just like you say.
Zach, now we truly know just how deeply the Clarksons are involved with this. Patty, how long does it take to reach the Clarkson estate?
Just a short drive. You just gotta head west along the Mississippi. You can't miss it.
Got it. Thank you, Patty. By the way, Melvin, no matter how accelerated Patty may be, don't you think she's still a bit too young to see something like this? For the record, I have no intent to instruct others on how to raise their children, but...
Holy moly, you're right! Patricia, CLG! Come on, sweetie. Kids shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
Daddy, it's too late now.
So, Galena has been murdered in her cell. So we have another chain murder. What do you mean unsee? The electronic man?
You sure you okay, CLG?
I'm fine.
Oh, I'm talking about Patricia can't unsee.
Besides, I'm used to seeing stuff like that on CSI. You're the one who looks pale, Daddy.
Well, it did shake me up a little. But I'll be back to normal in no time. Sorry about that, Mr. York. What say we rest in the interrogation room till we all calm down?
So Galena killed Lise. And then somebody killed Galena. Yeah, it was Rinju.
Sure thing, Daddy. I'm gonna go sit with Daddy for a bit, Agent York. We can join
And then
back
somebody
up
kills
later.
Rinju. I guess I gotta go.
Galena killed her daughter, so her family cut ties with her. Do you really think that's what happened here, Zach? If this is truly the ritual that the Clarksons use to cut ties with someone, why would they go out of their way to do it here, in a holding cell? They could have easily done it after we released her. And judging from how Danny Clarkson was acting, I think it's clear that he really loved Galena. How could he accept this grotesque butchering, even if it was for the sake of the family? There's no point in ruminating on this. We should get back to the investigation. As long as we keep moving, the answer will inevitably fling itself straight at us.
That's the way York solves crimes. Just gets the answers handed to him. Just like Date. A little bit of a beard starting. If I could stop accidentally shaving it. Oh, good. Here he is.
You found the flying serpent. But now, the flying serpent will come to find you.
Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like this flying serpent is a venomous one.
Some become feasts, while others are eaten alive. Which fate would you prefer?
Both sound marvelous, but let me check with Zach.
A fine answer.
He has such a good laugh.
Find the one who fired the pistol at heaven. Within the white hall of beds, brandish the ticket to the goddess. And once again, you will see the other world. Do you comprehend the oracle?
Zack, it looks like he's hell-bent on leading us back into that other world.
Follow the oracle.
Oh, I will, Hungan. There are only two types of things in our world. Things that should be resisted, and things that should be accepted. And I believe this oracle is something to accept.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Do you think we're crazy for believing everything that skeletal gentleman says? No, we're not crazy. Not one bit. This is our destiny, that's all. But I shouldn't need to explain that to you, Zack. The one who fired the pistol at heaven. Firing pistols at the sky might be a rather common occurrence for the South. Remember? Young Guns, 1988, directed by Christopher Kane. There's that great scene where Emilio Estevez keeps firing his Colt M1877 up at the sky. Well, but that film took place in New Mexico, didn't it? And the Oracle probably isn't referring to a situation like that. It's got to be for some purpose other than an attack or a threat. Raising a pistol up to the sky, then slowly pulling the trigger, kind of sounds like the start to a race. Don't you agree, Zack? Bingo, Zack. We're currently running a race here, and the one who started this murder investigation is indeed the one who fired the pistol at heaven. In other words, the person who first discovered the body. According to the files, Lisa's body was discovered by Chuck Thompson, a crawfish farmer. He apparently works out of a fishing hut located in the marshes south of the bayou. Let's go pay him a visit. Who knows? We might even get to see some crawfish. What? Why isn't the murderer the one who started this race? Zack, this isn't like you. Of course the murderer isn't the one who started the race. The murderer's running it. They're currently in first place. They're breaking all the rules. Any more objections, Zack?
I guess not, York.
Within the White Hall of Beds. This one is even easier. There are only a few establishments that have a whole hall's worth of beds, especially in a small town like this. I'm sure you've already got a pretty good idea about what the answer is, Zack. Beds all lined up.
Is it the
Only
hotel?
an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel.
Oh no,
Come
it's
on,
the post
you
office.
really think
Oh,
that?
no, it's
Sorry,
not.
but there's a more obvious place that anyone would. You never disappoint me, Zack.
Okay, so it's the clinic here.
It's a medical facility. They invite their patients into rooms full of beds where they're tended to by doctors and nurses clad in white. It's definitely a white hall.
That was actually my first
People are
guess, and then I
invited
switched to
to beds.
hotel, and then I started thinking about envelopes.
You always manage to impress me with your intuition. Really counting on you here, Zack. And I know I'll always be able to.
Looks like I got the same amount of money as I did when I got everything right the first time.
Agent York, you're trying to leave without your trustworthy assistant?
Well, I didn't know where the fuck he went.
Hello there, Patty. I'd never attempt such a thing. I was simply engaging in a battle of wits with Hungan while I waited for you.
Hungan?
Yes, the skeletal gentleman in the top hat.
Not that story again.
He's right here.
Is this how you always conduct your investigations?
Unfortunately, yes.
This is the way I work.
I bet you can't find a single partner. Not even in the entire FBI.
That's not true. I always work together with Zack.
Oh, right. Zack. Don't worry. I'll be your partner while you're here in our town. Now, let's go investigate.
I've got a lot of stuff I want to do now. Almost too much. there's some people that I haven't spoken to, like Avery. And while I was bumming around town yesterday, I saw a person named Lewis, who I don't think has been mentioned at all. But I didn't talk to him because I wanted to do it on stream. Aside from that, I'm hoping that we'll be able to customize our skateboard today. Now, I'm pretty sure that you actually can customize your skateboard. Not only did we find that suspicious looking garage with all the skateboard parts, but if you look at the left side of the screen when the interface loads, when I pull out my gun, it has slots for all the upgrades that we do to the gun. The same thing happens when we pull out our skateboard. Only currently all those slots are blank. So I'm thinking those are upgrade slots. Ugh. Oh, it's this asshole.
How's your mama? So, you're that hotshot FBI agent I keep hearing about.
And who might you be?
I came to claim the body of my daughter. My daughter, who was murdered in a holding cell after you detained her yesterday.
Clearly that eye patch is going to come off at some point.
Zach, I wasn't expecting to run into the final boss this early.
If he is the final
You must
boss,
be
that'll
the
be
head of the
funny.
Clarkson family, P.J. Clarkson. And you've come to claim the body of Galena Clarkson, whose dismembered corpse was found early this morning. Is that correct? Where did you learn that Galena had been murdered? Zach and I just learned of the news ourselves.
Who the
This
fuck is that?
Luke Corey. And I am P.J. Clarkson.
No, he's got to be 6 foot something
There
like
ain't
Avery.
a single thing I don't know about this town.
I see. So then you must also know about the Severed Roots ritual. I have a question for you, Philip. We suspect that Galena was murdered by someone from the Clarkson family. Have you given that possibility any consideration?
Listen up, you FBI piece of shit. You better watch your manners around my pa.
Shut up,
Else.
Daniel.
But, sir. My bad, sir.
I'll have you know I once had 3 children. But I must not have raised them very well, because my son and my eldest daughter both ran away and never came back to me. The only one who stayed by my side was my second daughter, Galena. Then she done married Daniel here into the family, and presented me with both an heir and a granddaughter. Seemed for a while as if things were finally starting to calm down. But then, someone corrupted both Galena and Lise. And I lost everything. Well, aside from my shit-heel son-in-law, that is. You understand me, FBI?
Galena's death is nothing but a loss for the Clarkson family.
That doesn't mean the Clarksons are automatically innocent, though. Humans don't always act out of self-interest, do they?
That mouth. You're starting to sound more and more like your mother. We're leaving, Daniel.
What? But my treasure...
Now, whether you end up being an angel or a demon, I reckon you're the man I've been waiting for all this time. Once you finish that autopsy, and we're clear to take her home, I want you to give me a call.
They're phenomenal, Patty. So perfectly rural. Ominous statements, foul-mouthed insults. This town possesses a complicated system of communication that you just can't find in the city. Work-centric emails are so cold and lifeless. This is what true human connections feel like. Connections as visceral as blood itself.
So, Agent York, what's next on your agenda?
The last boss may have gotten the jump on us, Patty, but I didn't let him shake my resolve. I intend to obey the skeletal gentleman's oracles, and that's that. First, we should head to either the home of the person who discovered Lisa's body, or to the town's medical facility. Well, Zach, what do you think?
York's loving this shit. It's always interesting to see the way that other people react to York and the way that York reacts to the other people. It's definitely not an interaction that you would see in any other game. Like, that type of interaction. And the characters in this game and in the last are all incredibly interesting. Like, there's not a single forgettable character. What do I want to do? Oh, it's pretty late. Shit. Alright, let's zoom in and see where everybody is. Alright, Avery's down there. We can go talk to him. Daniel's at the Owl's Nest. Okay, let's go talk to Avery.
Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland. With small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving out I-15. It was a mirage. But TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena and drag them out into the...
Okay, so... You want me to turn up the game audio? Because... I could have swore in my VODs that the volume was fine.
Hey, Agent York, it's getting kind of late. You shouldn't be dragging a kid around at this time of night, you know.
How is it now?
If you say so. I'll walk you home then.
No thanks. I can walk home on my own. Stop treating me like a kid. They say red shadows wander around here at night. So be careful.
Red shadows?
Yeah. Red shadows come out and attack folks who walk around in the dark.
Why do they attack them?
So they can drag them over to the other side. I guess it's kind of like a town legend that's been passed down over the years.
And you believe it?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a story someone made up so that kids would go to sleep at night. But I reckon there must be some other reason why those stories always get passed down. So I think it's important to keep them alive.
Okay. I'll be careful. Zach, did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know why the audio levels would have changed.
Red shadows. Sounds like a must-see to me.
Smarty pants, what you want?
He's gonna give me a quest to kill the red guys. $30. Oh, there it is. I was looking for the bed. So I need to get chills, so I need to try to sleep without this barrel burning. Oh, I guess there isn't really a bed here. I just used the sleeping bag, huh? Do I have it on me? Oops. Okay, I do. Excuse me. Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see me spin around? That was good. What the fuck? They're throwing like, oh my god, spiders! Exploding spiders! What the fuck is going on over here? Okay. Oh god, it takes that long to lock onto even the little guys. So I gotta kill 30 of these. I have the chills, which is good. Damn it. Trying to hit more than one of those at a time. So he's like chained to that door, and he knocks the locks off, and they turn into spiders. That's super fucking bizarre. How come sometimes they explode and sometimes they don't when I shoot them? Maybe they don't explode when I shoot them and I just happen to be shooting them as they exploded before? Ow! Oh, never mind. Trying to charge up. Yeah, to keep his back to me. What a fuckhead. Ooh.
You can't get away from me.
Arlecchino fragments? That's the one. Arlecchino? Okay, I got them all. Do I have another sleeping bag in my toolbox? I don't. I saw something. Raven will still teleport us around at night. Very good.
Good.
Very scary. What? Did they clean my suit when the chapter ended? I didn't want a clean suit. I still haven't gotten 40 stamps yet. I've got 29. You get a new suit every 40, I heard. Oh, we need to sleep. Hopefully we still have the chills when we wake up. Okay, good, we do. I have a quest to go get checked out while I have chills. We need to have some breakfast though. Oops. Having chills sucks. Look at that. I have my stamina.
Now that's what I'm talking about. You can't get fined, so make sure.
I think I've already eaten everything else here. I could be wrong.
Thanks, man. Next time.
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case.
Sure is some sun out there, ain't it, boss?
Hey, bellboy, what's this balloon doing here?
Oh, hey there, boss. That balloon belongs to the transportation service.
The transportation service. Zach, we haven't seen a single taxi since we got to this town, have we?
Well, of course not. You won't find a single limo or taxi driving around this town.
What does the balloon call, then?
That'd be Wyvern.
Wyvern? That pushy entrepreneur?
Right on the money, boss.
Why are you helping her out?
Me? Oh, I'm just in it for the kickback, boss.
So, calling her from here costs more than calling her from somewhere else?
Exactamundo. Although there are certain places that you can only get to from here.
What?
I see. Zach, it looks like we've run into yet another unique rural custom.
What? Why did it bring up a load screen? Not only is it a load screen, it's a long load screen.
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case. That's what I'm talking. Come on, get.
This doesn't show me where people are right now.
Thanks for calling me. Wyvern. Goodbye now.
Oh, I thought it was gonna put me back in the hotel and have a loading scene. Look, you can still hear the scissor people. There must be one stuck in a wall or something. No. Scissor man, please. Oh my god, it's following me everywhere I go. Holy shit.
If this town has a
Now
city,
that's a glitch.
it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou.
Wow. Wow. Why isn't Melvin at the goddamn sheriff's department? Where the fuck is he? Is he at home? No. I have a quest to turn in for Melvin. Oh, he's down here.
Hey, wanna talk about...
I'm hoping that the sound will go away when I teleport. Let's find out. Oh my god, it didn't. Well, maybe it's a good time to take a break. Since it seems like I have to restart the game anyways, so... Guess I'll leave you with this noise. Have a good one. Catch you next time. Probably tomorrow.